Hello everyone and welcome to this video. And in case you've been watching, well, welcome back and thank you for watching. So today doesn't relate to my past video that I published in a series. It was the first one and the others are coming. I'll have the link pop up somewhere on the screen. Today is a challenge that I just faced through a workflow that I'm doing, and I'd like to share how I approached it and solved it with you. So I've got lots of imagery. For the example, I'm going to be showing 3 of them just to really pass through time, but in a normal use case, you'll get a lot of imagery that you need to process sometimes. And in this specific use case, I'd like to convert my imagery to feature data that is time enabled. I can do that with traditional GIS. I can spend some time coding, but I can also ask an assistant to write that for me, to write a tool, a geoprocessing tool that can do the job for me. If you want to learn how to do that, let's move to my screen and go through this workflow. So let's get started. As I mentioned, I have an imagery challenge. A sample of this imagery is the 3 you're looking at here. This is Vapor landcover data brought from the hand-in-hand geospatial platform from FAO or Food Agriculture Organization. These have values, these rasters from 1 to 150. They're discrete values and we'll see that in a moment. And they've got the naming which corresponds to the date. D1 is decade 1, which is the first 10 days, 1st of March 2018. And they all follow this pattern. In production, I have something around 100 plus photos. And I'd like to convert these into raster, into polygons. I'd certainly like to assign a grid value for each polygon, which corresponds to the class in a domain. I'd like to get the date in a date field and make it time aware. And all of that might take a moment, right? Let's first see what actually the data we're looking at. So I'm gonna, rather than stretch, import from layer, and I'm gonna navigate to my Vapor inputs and notice this guy here, which we'll be using in a moment. So it got the different parameters, right? Or the values for trees, grassland, and so on and so forth. So how I can automate the tool, how I can have a tool that I just put a folder in, get an output feature class with all the data we need. Let's look at VS Code and learn how to do that with GitHub Copilot. So let's get started with VS Code. I am in VS Code. I see that I've got my GitHub Copilot, agent is enabled, and I'm using GPT-4.1. This is the directory we've seen. I'd ultimately like to create my tool in geoprocessing toolbox. I've got my Vapor inputs, the images, and the layer file. I've got a prompt pre-cooked, so I'm gonna paste that. Again, agent is selected. And to start with, I want to create a geoprocessing Python toolbox.pyt to use in ArcGIS Pro in the geoprocessing toolbox folder, and let's reference that. The toolbox should have 1 tool, 2 parameters, only an input folder directory and output feature class. The directory is the Vapor, it got TIFFs, it got 1 layer file, extract these. All TIFFs should be converted to polygon, give a note on how to name the polygon to avoid errors. The TIFF names are formatted this way, extract the D2, D1, decade, explaining what is that, and give back a date field in the converted polygons. Each polygon will have a grid code, that's by default. That corresponds to a land use or a land cover. These are in the layer file, which we've seen. 1 is tree, 4 is grassland. So if I open this guy here, I've got it selected. So I've got here and I've got values 1, tree, 4, grassland. So I explained that here and I give an example, and it's a good time to drag and drop this and really drag and drop the Vapor inputs. Close this guy and let's keep scrolling. Remove any polygon with area less than 3,600 meters. I'm gonna hard code this. You can expose it as a parameter. It's a QA/QC process. It's just my resolution is 30 meter by 30 meter. So I wanna avoid 4 pixel polygons and less. To do that, use shape area and update cursor. Be straightforward, use these tools that exist. Use ArcPy to simplify polygons, merge all the polygons, repair the geometry, add class domain described earlier, add class field, assign the domain that we described, land cover, 1 is tree, 2, 4 is grassland, and then save all intermediate outputs in memory. We don't need them. Right. or let's do generate the code and enter. Let's see what's gonna happen. Perfect. We've got some code. Now, traditionally, I would revise this. I'd go through the parameters, I'd go through the labeling, the classing, the execute functions and whatnot. For now, I'm gonna assume I know no Python in here, and I don't wanna really look into each and every single code. I just wanna test. So I'm gonna jump to Pro, and if I get any errors, I'll keep going back and forth till it's sorted. And let's see if the agent is gonna be able to do that. So first, to confirm, geoprocessing toolbox, yes, we see the tool. Landcover extraction, well, do you want to trust this for now? Yes. And I see raster to polygon landcover extraction tool. The first step, the model got something. The input folder for this use case is my Vapor inputs. I'm gonna use this, no errors up till now. I'd be surprised again if this works, but let's see how it gonna go and if it's gonna get it from the first time. So I'm just gonna change this to Vapor inputs polygons, an easy one, doesn't really matter, and run. An error. And as I promised, I don't want to debug each error. I'm just gonna go to the model and copy these errors. It's better if I do this guy here. There's something wrong on simplify polygons, which is fine. We'll sort it out. Paste this, and it's gonna find it's magic really how it's going, right? But again, we don't have a working tool yet. So I'm gonna save and then jump back to Pro, close this guy, and let's run again. Another error, which is the same one. Now I can look into documentation and get how to sort this one out. But for now, I really wanna follow the path and see what we're gonna get. It removed what it added. Let's see. Again, I'm not gonna look into these, which isn't the best practice, but I'm assuming zero knowledge. Now, you know when you run ArcGIS Pro Python tools, you get messages here, and I'm getting nothing. And it's pretty annoying. So, you know what? I'm gonna kill this process, and it succeeded before killing it. This is impressive. Okay, let's look into this attribute table. I'll go back to where I was in a moment. I've got a class field. It is classified. I've got 75,000 features in there. I've got shape areas all above 3,600. And I'm not missing my date field. It's calculated. Do you see how it's varying between 1st, 10th, and 20th? Is it a date? It is a date field. And well, let's see, I can easily go to symbology, on unique values, and class, and indeed I've got these. I've actually got also a nice little layer that I've pre-created, so I'm gonna hit this, run, and check this out. This is polygon data set of the 3 different data sets. It's got time in it, we've checked that. I wanna confirm it. I'll go to time and filter layer contained. Yes, it does. And we're gonna see time in here now. I told you there is one trick that I'd like to show before ending this video because the messaging didn't work. This worked. I didn't read any code, but can you add appropriate messaging to know the progress of the tool using ArcGIS add message. And let's hit enter. I can see some add messages. Let's see if this works. I'll jump back to ArcGIS Pro, double click the tool, do the same thing, get my input folder, that's easy, and with messages. Doesn't really, it's not gonna matter, but just to avoid any duplicates, and in principle it should run, but I should see messages of what's happening. And it's pretty fast, right? It's really impressive. Usually repair geometry takes a second, but done. Let's re-examine this. I'm gonna just copy a simple trick, paste properties, and there we go. Yeah, it's mind-blowing. I'll drop the link for the work or the tool somewhere in the description. You'll find it for the GitHub repo tool. I'll publish this one in case you want to try it on different imagery formatted the same way. But I really would like you to try is just take these available tools, create some tools, and see how far you can get. I didn't really do any Python work, and I got something working. It's fascinating how far technology has came, and yeah, looking forward for the next video. Take care for now. Bye.